Hello, I'm Mara DiCarlo. I am the founder of the International Parenting and Health Institute, Association of Professional Sleep Consultants, Business Sanctuary, and Physical Awakening, a prenatal yoga school with the Yoga Alliance. Today, we are going to examine a new child sleep study that just came out 2 days ago on September 13th. It's been making its rounds in Japan. There's been news about it here in the US as well. And this study claims to have the answer to soothing and promoting sleep in crying infants. Studies are very valuable. I appreciate them and all the time and the effort and the energy, as well as the positive intention that goes into them in order to discover things and to help others get over different kinds of challenges and situations. I'm a researcher myself. I enjoy investigating, I enjoy experimenting, and I also enjoy getting to the root of things. I have found very easily how easy it is to be misled, to be confused, to run around in circles. And so today we're going to take a closer look at this because research studies often can be misleading. This is also what led me, one of the reasons of what led me to develop our pregnancy and child sleep consultant program back in 2012, because I had already witnessed that child sleep coaches and consultants, as well as parents, were using cookie cutter methods, were using research papers and findings and not getting to the root of things. So let's take a closer look today. I'm going to be bringing up this study on my screen. So for those of you that are watching me through Facebook, through YouTube, or through LinkedIn, you'll be able to see the study. Unfortunately, for those of you tuning in on Instagram, I will not be able to share the study with you on the screen, but I will have a link so that you can check this video out, or I will just put the title in the description and you can then look at the research yourself. All right. Okay, so let us begin. I'm going to share the file right now. And this is what they call the transport method. So this study claims that the transport method is what is going to help. So let me bring the slide up here for all of us. I had it up before and then I got cut out live, but we're going to bring it back again. There's some key things to look at in this study. All right, here we go. And I'm going to bring the study up a little further here. All right, so the title of the study is A Method to Soothe and Promote Sleep in Crying Infants Utilizing the Transport Response. The highlights of this study are infant crying is attenuated by transport, but not by motionless holding. This is what the study has found. 5-minute transport promotes sleep for crying infants, even in the daytime. Lay down of sleeping infants into a cot either interrupts or deepens infant sleep. Lay down at 5 to 8 minutes after the sleep onset tends to prevent infant waking. Now, we're going to move on to the summary of the study. And this is the red flag that appeared for me. I'm going to read the first part of this summary a couple of times so you can pause yourself for a moment and see if you can pick up on what I found as a red flag. Approximately 20 to 30% of infants cry excessively and exhibit sleep difficulties for no apparent reason. So this is how the summary begins. I'll read that again. Approximately 20 to 30% of infants cry excessively and exhibit sleep difficulties for no apparent reason. For no apparent reason, this is the red flag. So while again, I value and I know how much knowledge and how much time went into this, at the same time, I'm already questioning the study because things don't happen for no apparent reason. If you are a true scientist and a true researcher, you know that things do not happen for no apparent reason. There is a reason. And if we haven't found one yet, well, that's another story. We've got to look into that. but there is no such thing as no apparent reason. So already I'm questioning this study. Let's move on to the next point. Causing parental stress and even triggering impulsive child maltreatment in a number of small cases. Yes, that is true. And that is also why I'm passionate about the work that I do when it comes to pregnancy and child sleep, for this very reason, because we are preventing these kinds of situations when we are raising awareness and providing education and uncovering the root causes. We prevent these unfortunate situations from happening where parents get triggered and they lose it. And unfortunately, something can happen to the child. While several sleep training methods or parental education programs may provide long-term improvement of infant cry and sleep problems, there is yet to be a conclusive recommendation for on-site behavioral interventions. Okay, so yes and no. I mean, our organization and our consultants have found that actually there are many on-site, myself as well. That's why we have the program that we do. They haven't found us, they haven't spoken to us. So naturally, they're going to come up with this. We haven't been in the research papers, and all right, that's valid. I'll give that to them because they're not aware of the work that we're doing and our findings. And so that's a valid point on their end. All right, so now we're going to move down to some of the main points here in this, some of other main points in this study, but I also want to point something out. In this study, we are not being told a number of important pieces of information. We're not being given the sleep and wake windows of the children, okay? And the ages of the children are ranging from 1 month to 9 months. There's 26 participants, and we're not given the sleep and wake windows. We're not being told the mental and physical well-being of the parent. We're not being told if they've tried any sleep training methods, or this is kind of the first time they're trying something to get their child to sleep. We're also not being told that the child is exclusively being breastfed and bottle fed. So there's a number of things here we're not being told as well. All that information is just out. The only thing that's focused on is, all right, we looked at these 26 participants. We included these 4 factors. Those 4 factors is the mother walking with her child in her arms, the mother sitting with the child, okay, the mother placing the child in the cot, or the mother, when needed, and if having the stroller, walking with the child in the stroller, okay? So these were the 4 elements that they used in this study to determine what they did. And they found that, okay, when a child is in the arms of a mother, walking, moving, within 5 to 8 minutes, they're falling asleep. However, staying asleep is another story. So let's move on to another few points here that I wanted to make in this study. One moment here. I'm just going to go down toward the end here. Okay, so it says here that nevertheless, the study provides a proof of concept that infant transport robustly reduces cry and potentially promotes sleep, and proposes a behavioral protocol. Yes and no, because if that child has an underlying condition that cannot be addressed within 5 minutes time, let's just say that something is irritating their digestive system. Let's say they're lactose intolerant. Let's say that they've had an emotional response to something that scared them, or whatever it is. The movement for that 5-minute period time may not suit that child. So while this study did its best to look at 26 participants, we don't know a whole host of information of those participants, or the situation, or the circumstances. And as a result, we're coming to this general conclusion, that yeah, the transport method is a possibility. Now, we all know that yes, movement and motion for children, because it is very much in attunement with how they were in the womb, it's very familiar to them. So yes, naturally, movement feels very familiar and safe and secure. So that explains why usually it is easier for a child to fall asleep when moving, although it is not recommended for a child to remain moving while sleeping. So that's natural. And then why this 5 to 8 minute window? So why is it that after 5 to 8 minutes after falling asleep, while moving and you put the child down, they're sleeping? Well, we have to take into consideration a child's sleep cycle compared to an adult sleep cycle. The study does not also go into how long that child slept, whether they woke up. And I understand that's because they're just mainly focused. Again, the whole point of this is how can they promote, sleeping? How can they soothe the child and get them to sleep? But once again, there's so many other factors to take into consideration. This is one piece of the puzzle. And having only one piece of the puzzle is not necessarily going to be the appropriate or optimal answer for every single parent. So while, once again, this documentation and this research is valuable, it's helpful, thank you for the time and the energy put into this. At the same time, let's not be confused. At the same time, let's not limit ourselves to think that this is the only answer. It may or may not be. And yes, there's, again, no question that motion and movement is very soothing and can support a child. The mother's physical and mental well-being is also an important factor here, because depending on what's happening with her, we may also need intervention. Then that might not also be the appropriate response for her in this situation, again, dependent on what's going on. So that's also something to take into consideration. And I wouldn't just tell anyone, oh, based on this research study, now I'm going to start advising all my clients and training all my child sleep consultants that the transport method, utilize this and try this. No, the first thing we do is evaluate. Before we implement or try anything in any situation, we must evaluate the situation. We must look at all the factors involved in that situation to determine then if this method, if this research has come out, is appropriate for the situation or not. But to just use research to apply to the situation just because it's backed by science, right? And it's so well documented, so professionally documented, and making the rounds on the news, that is irresponsible. And in fact, once again, that is not really truly being a true scientist, a true holistic coach. All right. So I just wanted to share that with you because once again, time and time and time again, I hear people coming forward, parents and child sleep consultants coming forward saying, this new research study came out. Should I try this? And that's the backwards way of looking at any situation. It's, let me find out what's going on in my situation. Let's learn about me and my child and my family. Then we look at the research and we figure out if that research is a fit to my situation, but not, oh, this research worked on 26 participants in which there's a lot of missing information except for this small window of information that they're just looking for this specific data. Let's go ahead and try that. It's going to be a waste of time. And a lot of times will mislead people, lead to headaches and frustration. So do yourself a favor, take it for what it is. Again, have appreciation and gratitude that people are out there, that they care, that they're putting time, energy, and effort into this work. So thank you for that. But at the same time, let's put things in perspective and let's not mislead ourselves, okay? Empower yourselves to evaluate the situation, to question things, and then to connect those dots in order to have the research and the science fit you and not the other way around. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to learn more, visit parentinghealthinstitute.com, where we have certification programs in adult and child sleep, baby planning, pre-postnatal nutrition, eco-consultant, integrative breastfeeding, education, health and lifestyle. And we also very soon are launching parenting and health classes. I will talk to you all again soon. Thank you very much.